So, in Avengers Endgame, once the Avengers had saved the universe, Captain America had to do arguably one of his hardest missions yet, and that was to go back in time and return all the Infinity Stones from where they came from. And this was very hard and probably the hardest mission Captain America probably would ever have to go through. So, in today's video, we're going to be explaining what happened when he went back in time to return the stones. And yeah, if you do enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. So, obviously, once the Avengers had saved the universe from obviously Thanos' snapping Infinity War, um, Captain America obviously had to go back and return the stones from where they took them from. Now, obviously, when they took the stones, well, obviously when Bruce went to the Ancient One, he said he would return it, and all the stones had to be obviously returned in properly, and it was very dangerous because if Captain America did one thing wrong, then the future could obviously spiral and more outbreaks and bad things in the future could happen. So if he did one thing wrong, then it could end everything, and everything they did would have been for nothing because everything would change if he returned the stones in the wrong way. So obviously, I think the timeline what he would go through, I put in. I think this would happen. So tell us how you think he would do it, but this is what I think. So obviously, the Mind Stone and the Time Stone, they came from New York. Those are the two stones that were on obviously New York, and that's where they went to get them from. Now, obviously, Captain America would have to go through to New York and return them. Obviously, the Mind Stone was obviously Shield's, but it was Hydra's little secret that obviously the Mind Stone was with them, that we found out in Age of Ultron. So he would somehow have to make a deal with Brock in New York at that time. And obviously, the Time Stone, obviously the Ancient One was very reluctant to give the Time Stone to Bruce in Endgame. But he would have to do it, but it would return because obviously she didn't want to do it because obviously Dormammu would come and she had to protect the world from Dormammu, obviously, and Captain America would have to do it quick and give it to her fast, so then that would not happen and she could protect the world from obviously Dormammu and help Doctor Strange, obviously. So it would be very hard. Obviously, New York would be in a state. It would be obviously what we saw in 2012 New York when we saw the Avengers, and when we saw them go in Endgame, it would be chaotic, and it would be a very hard mission for Captain America. But I would love to see this happen, obviously as a show. But yeah, I think that him going back to New York would be very hard, and he would have to do it in the right way, otherwise everything would mess up and spiral. Now, the next stone that we know from Asgard is obviously Reality Stone. Now, we know that they had to extract the Reality Stone from Jane Foster, so we know that it had to get taken from Jane, so they can't just put it back in her, so they would have to either put it down or return it to Odin or something like that. I think they'd have to turn it into a liquid or something to get rid of it. But no, I think they wouldn't return it, obviously. They wouldn't put it back inside of Jane. But I do think they would do, maybe make it into liquid or keep it secret from everyone else. Well, everyone knew about it in the end. But they would have to keep it secret from everyone else because, obviously, it's not something that can be returned into where it came from. So, obviously, they had to go... Captain America would have to cause something to get help on Asgard, and now who watches. So when Captain America would arrive at Asgard, he would obviously find Heimdall there, and if we saw that in a show, that would be more development for Heimdall. And I do think that this would be very cool to see. Obviously, Heimdall would help him return the Reality Stone or do something with the Reality Stone. And yeah, I think it would be pretty cool because that would actually have to cause something, but it wouldn't be too big of a thing that would cause disruption, and it would cause everything to change or spiral because it wouldn't change that much. But I do think that he would have to do something to get help. Now, the next stone, that these two stones are in space, and one of them does get very interesting. Now, the first one is obviously on Morag, and it's obviously the Power Stone, what Peter Quill was going for. So Captain America would have to go there. Peter Quill would still be unconscious, or probably still be unconscious from when he got knocked out by Nebula. They obviously got the Power Stone from there, and obviously Captain America would have to return it. He would probably give it to Peter Quill, so then not much would change. It would obviously go into the rest of the guys in the Galaxy universe, like with that. But obviously the crew would come, and obviously Captain America would have to fight them off for Peter Quill, so then Peter Quill could get out of there in time. and I think that'll be very cool to see. Obviously, we see Peter Quill and Captain America interact again from the past, and yeah, I think it'll be cool to see because obviously Captain America would have to return the Power Stone to Peter Quill. Peter Quill would get out of there, and obviously the rest is history from the Guardians of the Galaxy. So that was the Power Stone, and now this is where things get very interesting because obviously on Volmir is where Red Skull is. He protects obviously the Soul Stone, and he tells people who come for the Soul Stone how to get it, and he tells them knowledge, obviously his knowledge that he has of it, and obviously it'd be very cool to see. Obviously it was confirmed from the Russo brothers that Red Skull does not have it was not the same character that we knew from the first Avenger, and it's not really the Red Skull that Captain America knew, and they aren't the same characters anymore. So it wouldn't be it wouldn't be the same as if they were the same characters. It would be a very different interaction. But obviously, once the Soul Stone was returned, Red Skull could be free from his chains or his shackles on Vormir from the Soul Stone. So I think that it would be very interesting to see how the two characters would interact about the Soul Stone. I think he would wonder if he could see that much knowledge through Captain America. He'd wonder why he retired and went with Peggy Carter. But no, I do think that they would have. I think they would recognize each other. Obviously, they are still the same, and I do think Red Skull. It would be a very interesting conversation to see. He would be very surprised by seeing Captain America return the Soul Stone. But I think it would be a very cool interaction to see between the two characters. Obviously, it was Red Skull was Captain America's first ever villain that we ever saw, so it would be very cool. It would be very cool to see them interact again for the last time. Maybe in a TV show. I don't know. We probably won't see this ever happen. Maybe non-canon material, but I don't think we'll ever see this happen. So that was the Soul Stone. Obviously, that's probably the most interesting one that we would like to see. Obviously, just because of Red Skull and Captain America's interactions about the Soul Stone and what Captain America's doing and what they would talk about. I mean, Red Skull would obviously wonder why he'd come, and he would be released from protecting the Soul Stone. But no, I think it would be very cool to see them interact with each other once again for the last time and talk about obviously why Captain America has done what he's done. So that's obviously Soul Stone, the most interesting one. Now on to the last one, where Captain America will make his journey to New Jersey to return the Space Stone. Obviously, it was in the Tesseract, and they got the Space Stone from there. And I think that obviously Captain America, where they got the Pym particles, and obviously Captain America would return this, and he would probably see Peggy Carter again, and this is where Captain America will make his last journey. And once he's returned the Space Stone, that is when Captain America will make his last journey to go back in time with Peggy, obviously retire. Obviously we see him in the future with Sam and Bucky when he makes Sam the new Captain America. Obviously it was an amazing scene, and we saw Captain America or Steve with Peggy, and it was kind of like his retirement and his end of his story, and I thought it was very cool. And obviously, yeah, he would go back in time after he's returned all the stones. He's done arguably his highest mission he's ever done, returning the stones, because if he messed up, then everything would spiral, and everything would mess up, and he would cause all the wrong things, because everything they would have done would have been obviously for nothing. So I do think that seeing this would be cool. Obviously it would close off his story with Peggy Carter, and I think it would just be very cool to see. Obviously, this isn't the last we're going to see of Peggy Carter now. Obviously, we're going to see Captain Carter in the future. We're going to see a lot of Peggy Carter, I think, now in the future. But I think Captain America's story has closed, and I do think it would be very cool to see his story in a Disney Plus show or a movie. But obviously, it's not going to happen. His contract's gone, and I don't think it's ever going to happen. But maybe an animated TV show with him getting a voice actor of it, but it probably wouldn't be canon material, but it would be cool to see anyway. So obviously, if you did enjoy this video about obviously Captain America returning the stones, we hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having a good day, and goodbye.